So, you or someone you love has autism. If you watch this video, you're going to understand and recontextualize in your own mind what addiction is and how it actually isn't that interesting and it's not that deep. And it may be that person showing you that they are interested in being a part of their life and ultimately moving forward. If we imagine a person in the ocean and their family and their friends are on the shore, but the man is drowning, the man is probably going to try to cling on to anything that they possibly can. And I say man, but it doesn't really matter the gender really at all. The man is scrambling for anything. He's trying to move towards the shore, but what his family don't see and all of his friends don't see is the way that the current is pulling him back out. And the man wants to be there on the shore, but the immensity of the pressure, both not geothermic, but like with the draw of the ocean pulling him back out, is so dysregulating and so powerful that the man can't really do much about it. And his family is like, "What are you doing? Like, we love you. Do you not love me? Why aren't you getting out of the ocean and joining us right now? Do you not love me?" And so this kind of goes into the way that the person with the addiction is really struggling, but the ocean is really this world that we're in and how inherently dysregulating it is, especially for people with neurodivergence. And so what we need to understand and what this video is about gaining compassion for yourself and for others and understanding why people engage in coping mechanisms and addictive behaviors. So imagine the man sees some driftwood and he's like, "Holy crap, I'm drowning. I'd better do something about this." And I see that thing is float and I know about buoyancy and I know that if maybe I can put some sort of raft, I might be able to have enough stable ground in order to hoist myself out of the ocean and join my family again. Well, their family might be like, "What are you doing? Just get out of the ocean. That's super easy. You don't have to, this isn't that complex, and all you need to do is quit that addictive behavior and then you'll be fine." And they don't see the current because they can't look into that person's mind. Unless the person opens up and really shares how they're feeling and how difficult things are for them, the people around them aren't going to be able to understand what they're going through. And so the person who is drowning is saying, "Hey, sorry guys, I'm fine. I'm fine, I promise." And then they go and they do a behavior that they hide because, and this is the important thing that you need to understand from this video, addictions and coping mechanisms are a way of finding calm, peace, and stability in a world that is inherently dysregulating and where people can't even, they're so emotionally charged and dysregulated and often hypervigilant being your nervous system is completely trashed from chronic stress. They can't even handle the idea of someone responding to them asking for help. And so what you need to understand is that when people are in that position, they need love, they need understanding, you would be so surprised. What they need is neutrality. And if you can muster positivity, that's great. But understand that the person's internal world is so overwhelming that there isn't really anything that they can do. And they're just trying to put together driftwood in order to find some space, some one piece of calm ground in this earth to stand on so that they can join their family and their friends, but back up on the shore. What you will find is that in life, the most difficult thing about the things that we go through is the way that we perceive them. And so, how does that make you feel? Just answer in your heart or in your head or in your mind. How does that make you feel knowing that this person that maybe you don't like what they're doing, or maybe you see them hurting themselves or engaging with coping mechanisms that are unhealthy? How does it make you feel knowing that that is their attempt to stay regulated, to stay calm, to stay stable? Does it change the way that you feel about them? Does it change the way you feel about yourself if you're the one with the addiction. You are just looking for new ground, something stable to rest on. Because if you have been emotionally charged and dysregulated and in an extended sympathetic nervous response, in other words, you've been stressed for a really long time and haven't been able to find relief, how do you feel knowing that your engagement with coping mechanisms is really your attempt to try and stay regulated? How does that make you feel about your spouse, your kids, people around you, that they want to be engaged with you? They want to be part of your life. But it is so difficult for them to just have a single moment of calm due to this huge backlog of stress that they haven't processed, and in many cases are disassociating and disconnecting from a reality just in order to stay alive. I love ducks. I don't know if you can hear that, but there are ducks quacking behind me. How do you feel about yourself and everyone around you, knowing that a lot of us, if not most, if not all, we want to be model citizens, but rather just we want to be good human beings. We want to show how much we care about other people. And ultimately, the more sensitive someone is, the more likely they are to engage in addictive behavior, because that means that everything that everyone else is going through, it's more intense, it's more vivid, it's more powerful for them, and therefore more inherently dysregulating and alarming and inducing of anxiety. And this is to say nothing of the various neurochemical profiles and neurotexture of people's brains who are neurodivergent, who have trouble with things like impulse control. Their brain literally works different than everyone else. And it's like on top of a world that we all know is what it is. They have difficulty with things like consistency and knowing that they're going to be all right. I want to say something really important to you. And that is that you are deserving of love. It doesn't matter how you've been treated or what you've been through or the way that other people have treated you or where you are in life or where you aren't. You are worthy of love. You are deserving of being able to experience every delightful and beautiful thing in this life. And do not feel shame and do not feel fear because you are on a planet that in its present state of civilization is abusive and mean and angry and vile. Because once you find your inner peace and your calm, you begin to see the world in a new way. And you start to see the beauty all around you that you never realized was there before. And then you feel differently than what I just said. Actually, this planet is gorgeous. There's endless beauty. And the reason there are parts of our civilization that are fallen is because we've forgotten how beautiful this planet is and how beautiful and how gorgeous and bright we are. If you feel shame, that's okay. You don't need to feel ashamed about your shame. It's enough to have just one emotion and to be honest about what you're feeling. And a lot of the reason that people engage with addictions is because they don't want to face their own feelings. But I just want to let you know that the thing that people are trying to avoid with these various addictions is a 30 to 45 minute conversation. I'm going to teach you how to do it right now. Next time you feel triggered or uncomfortable or anxious, rather than trying to drown out the voices and escape, give them the mic. What have you come to teach me? What observations have you made that you would like to share with me that I have been ignoring? And you may hear voices in your mind say something negative. It may be a lot of things. It may be 30 years of a backlog of horrific things that you never wanted to acknowledge or feel. Eventually there will be a pause in the voice. And I want you to pause for 4 to 5 seconds and say, what else? What else do you have to show me? And the voice will say a bunch of different things. Notice them, acknowledge them, love them. Then say, what else? And say, what else? Until the voice is completely done. And what you're doing is emotional processing. You are listening to all these things that you've been trying to escape. And when the voice is done, you will know that you are ready to move on. And something that I really need you to understand is that the reason unpleasant emotions come up is because you now have the emotional tools and strength in order to see them and feel them, whereas maybe as a child you didn't. And there was no shame and nothing negative about being a child who wasn't able to find safety, peace, what they needed, who never had a good example modeled for them. You're not somehow inferior or less than anyone else on this earth. You are so beautiful. And you don't need to feel bad about who you are. And in fact, all you need to do is make that sentence shorter. All you need to do is feel. Notice how the different things in this world make you feel. Notice how you feel right now. Where in your body do you feel it? For me, I feel it in my knees and in my thighs because I'm standing up and I have so much energy. And I will often walk 10 to 20 miles a day because I have so much energy and I need to move the heck around just to feel calm, to feel peaceful. Most things in life, I'm so sorry to disappoint you in such a beautiful way, but most things in life are not that deep, they're not that interesting or complex. And it's really just the way that we see them that are those things that are complex and labyrinthine, meaning like a labyrinth. You are so much more powerful than you could ever hope to realize. And I believe that this planet can become heavenly if we all understand, grasp, and rest in our own power. If you deal with addictions every day, all you have to do is listen to this video, maybe once, maybe twice, and just notice the way that you feel. Have an honest, real conversation with yourself. You don't need to feel anything, you just need to feel and notice. And when we do that, we no longer have to escape. And you know what? There's going to be a period, especially if you've had chronic stress, where it takes a long time for your nervous system to calm down. If you're more interested in that journey, I've done it myself, and that's why I'm so calm and can say this right now. If you want that, leave a comment or subscribe or something. Just let me know in some way that you are interested in that, because that is something valuable that I can share with all of you. I've said it once or twice, but I want to end this video in this way. Know that the way that you are is beautiful and lovely and valuable. That you didn't come to this life to doubt yourself. You came here to experience your own power. Addictions are temporary, firm ground that we create in order to give ourselves the time to process what we've been through. And yes, we all want to move in a beautiful direction. That's never really in question. I know that you're doing your best. And maybe other people around you don't, but rest in the knowledge that you are doing your best. And that you're moving in a beautiful direction. This video wouldn't have even shown up if you weren't interested in that. So know that you are beautiful and that you are lovely, and that you can be proud of who you are no matter what stage of your journey you're on. All right. Bye-bye.